Hello everyone and welcome back. This is JackB1024 with our Dynamic Factorio Let's Play. So today what we're going to do is we're going to start off making a factory to produce our transport belts, underground belts and splitters, which are going to be used prominently in our main bus, and we'll also get started on doing our main bus. If we look at the map, I'm thinking of setting up the main bus over this way, so from this lake to the left. That copper patch is going to be in the way, but that should be fine. We're also going to finish our circuit network research, and then we'll probably get started on researching military tech. So I'll just pick up a few things. So we're going to want transport belts, we want underground belts, and we want splitters, which will require a blue. Splitters will put another gear wheel there. Okay, so we'll feed the gear wheel. So that gets us our normal belts once we power up these inserters. Now, our underground belts require normal transport belts and iron plates, so that's easy enough to feed them. You are making the wrong thing, you should be making those. They also require transport belts, so we'll bring them out the back, belt it across. Face it towards the inserter, and this insert on the right is going to have our circuits. And finally, oh, it doesn't actually require gears. Oh yeah, because I was looking at the wrong recipe. Trying to think if in that case it would be better. No, I don't quite have enough room to set up another transport belt set up over here. Otherwise I'd do that. I'll just make a bunch of them while I'm at it. Okay, cool. So 1, 2, 3, put you on there, and put those two into chests. I'll limit the chest for transport belts to 4 stacks, the other 2 to 2 stacks. Now we don't actually need this setup anymore because we're using it here. So I'll actually get rid of this one. Okay, there we go. That's that all set up. Now we seem to not be getting quite enough iron, so let's go and upgrade our iron furnaces. So I'm going to put down another 6 furnaces on each side. Kind of want to put down another 8, that would give us 16 on each side. But this belt's in the way. Probably end up moving it. Okay, there we go. And a few more electric poles. And the last 3. And there we go. So we've got almost double the amount of iron plates being smelted now. Do I want to move this across? Yeah, I will actually. So let's get another 4 furnaces set up. This time we'll run it this way, past this tree. And so there we go. Just line up all these furnaces, and once they're all lined up and all the inserters are done, we will have twice the iron production that we used to. Done. Still seem to be getting plenty of idle in, so that's fine. Okay, we've never actually hooked our copper into our red science production. That was a mistake. So let's look into fixing that. Okay, so we'll run it across here. Yep, we'll move that up one. Run this across, and then we'll run it down. There. I'm looking to finding a good way to put it on this belt. So we'll move that inserter away. Don't need that one anymore. And instead, do it like that. Only issue is that we're not restricting the copper to only one side, so by doing that, the copper can only end up on the top of this belt, and so it'll only be on the top of the belt here. We still seem to be very low on iron. It's actually stopping our circuit production. So I'm contemplating building up another iron smelting setup. Either that or we could just continue extending this one, but I don't like all the trees here. Yes, it would be easy to just set up another smelting area. So let's go do that. So we'll need again another line for our resources. So furnaces go here. We're probably going to have to make some more miners. I don't believe that that's enough miners to supply 64 furnaces. Also, 64 furnaces should be more than a yellow belt worth of resources on the output. So we're going to have to send 2 belts up. 16, 4, so we need 12. 64 inserters, which actually means we're going to need some more circuits. So let's go pick them up. Actually, there's not going to be any in storage because they're all being put there. Okay, we're just going to input that a bunch of iron so at least it gets started. And I'll work on at least getting one of these lines online. So while we might not have all 32 furnaces running, at least we'll get another 16 up and running. Okay, so we'll break off the coal there, splitter, pass this one under that splitter, and then we'll bring it across here to feed into this splitter. For the moment I'll just break that line in half and feed half of it this way. But eventually we'll have our own supply line for it. Okay, now let's get this iron at least going somewhere. Out of transport belts. So we'll bring this line up and we'll just feed it again into this splitter up here. Seems like the best place to put it. Just going to need to move these power poles. And to save on underground belt usage, I'll switch it to having the coal belt go underground so that these two belts can both go just above ground over it. Okay, we don't have enough iron as I expected, so I'm going to go run off, get some more circuits, and we'll make some more iron production, more iron miners. Okay, we're going to just need to steal some iron off this belt to at least get some of these built. Okay, so for this line we'll run it into that part of the splitter. That way you can go either to the top or the bottom smelting area. And just clear up these trees so that put down these 4 drills. And some power. Okay, just clearing up our final trees. Our circuit network seems to be, what, 3/4 done? That's good. Okay, so we'll check out how our iron production is. So we've still only got that about 2/3 done. And the bottom one about the same. So we're still low on miners. Or at least our circuit production now has enough iron for it. In fact, I'm going to actually speed this up with blue. So it's iron. Let's see if I can just steal a bunch of iron from here. No, I meant copper cables. Just so that we can speed up crafting these blue assemblies. We need one more. There we go, so now that's 50% faster. We're going to need to set up a proper area for that, but that will come when we get to our dynamic belts. Let's make a third miner, and we'll have 4 on each side here, so that's another 8. Good. I'll get ready. I'm just lining this all up so that we're ready to use these furnaces. Even though we don't have enough iron ore being produced, we might actually be getting close. Yeah, we'll just have these furnaces ready to go. I'll connect them in and then... Okay, we're still making the last 5. I thought I clicked the right number. Cool. So we'll just connect them in. I'll make a few more of these because we're going to need some more. Now if we had circuit networks, I could restrict the outgoing from this circuit factory so that we'd always have a few over here when I came over. But then of course that would just slow down our circuit network production. Okay, so we seem to be good for iron actually at the moment. So now it's just our circuit network production that's way too slow. Because we're pretty good on copper as well. Actually, we're really good on copper. We could easily support a second factory making circuit network, so let's set that up. Yeah, so we're gonna run this copper belt down here and we'll set up the second factory just here. It's actually wider than I needed. I only really need a 1 wide gap. Why do I have an odd number of underground belts? That is weird. I'm gonna have to look into that because there's nowhere where I've used up a single one. We need 1 more of these, so we need even more iron. So again we'll have our 2 factories at the top. Ooh, yeah, that's fine. 1 factory at the side, 2 at the bottom. And we'll get rid of this mine because it's not needed anymore. Need a few more inserters. Quickly just set up all these machines to craft the correct thing. Move that all out of the way and set up these inserters to be powered. We're going to want another inserter inserting on the left. That'll be where our iron will come from. So I'm trying to decide if I pull it from the top or just pull it from the side. I think I'm going to pull it from the top. Just what we're going to need. Again, a bunch more. In fact, I should just light a bunch from there. Some more transport belts. And we're gonna. Actually, I don't think I can spread that one further. Just not in the right spot. I'll just do that so that it attaches these circuits onto this line, which goes off to our green science production, which we want to have priority anyway. And so with that, we'll just pick up all of this and we'll head over to where our main factory is going to be built. Cool, so I'm just going to check out. Okay, so I want an area on the right of our main bus, which will have storage as well as basically the circuit network controlling everything, so I think that's a good spot here. So we'll probably start our main bus maybe over here. That's plenty of room. And of course in normal Factorio style that's probably going to be not nearly enough room. So there's the first line of our main bus. Now, as this factory is completely dynamic, that means even all the lines on our main bus are going to be dynamic, which means the factory itself may decide to make more gear wheels, and so it will decide, well, we need more iron production, and so because we need more iron production and we need that to go to gear wheels, we need another belt of our main line to be reserved for iron plates. So we're not going to be in control of which line of our main bus is transporting which items. That will be part of our circuit network's control. So our main bus is actually going to be quite a bit different to most of the normal ones because of that. So the first thing is our main bus is going to be bidirectional. And the reason for that is that each group of factories, let's just mark them out like this. Let's just pretend like here's two factory setups. So say this one's making, so this one's set to make circuits and this one's set to make copper cables. Yeah, which could very well happen. We need these copper cables to be able to be transported to this circuit factory. And so because it's further up the chain, we need a chain that can go both directions. The next thing we need to be able to do is pull off any line of our chain. And so these are actually going to be too close. So the way I was looking up different ways I could set this up, and this seems to be the most compact way I could think of, was, see, we want you to go that way, so that you're feeding this splitter. Okay, so I'm back, and I've remembered how this design works. Now, one of the main parts of this design is that it needs to be able to support any factory making anything. And the most complex thing you can make in Factorio is the satellite, which requires 6 products. So we need a belt system that could optionally... Cool, that's good timing. Let's actually go with military now. So we need a belt setup that could optionally pull off up to 6 products and feed it to one of our assembling banks. So here we're pulling off this belt. Now and let's say this is our supply belt to our factory, one of the few that we're going to have. Okay, so we might want our items to be on the left or on the right. So what we're going to do, so we're going to do a normal, one belt balancer, but this actually has a different use for us. So what we're going to do is, don't need quite so many circuits to be made. Hopefully, okay, cool. So with circuit networks, we're going to have this controlling the 2 inputs, and so we could tell this input to be enabled or this one to be enabled, and that way we can choose whether or not our item goes on the right side of the belt or the left side of the belt. So that's the first part of our main buses off branch, is the ability to control the left and the right. But that's only coming from the right. We also need the same thing on the left. So to do that, we're going to do a very similar design. We'll do it over this side. We'll just give this an underground belt to there. And we can branch it off that way. That can run forward. Put that one there. And there again, we have the same setup. And again, we can control this with some circuit networks. So let's just connect that up, and we'll just connect it like that so we're remembering what we're doing here. Now again, maybe the item we want isn't on this belt, but rather on the line below it. So, put this here, that one there, yep, that's a good spot for it. And what we'll do, we'll just use some splitters to feed them all. So, let's actually get a constant combinator so we can test this out. And for the moment, we'll just test it out by setting these to 1 or 2, depending on which side we want. So let's say if iron plates equals 1, actually we'll make it if it equals 2, the right side is set, and then if it equals 1, the left side is set. So just copy those settings across, get a constant combinator, and we'll attach it in. Okay, so we'll set iron plates to 1, and our left side is on, and when we change that to 2, the right side is on. And that'll work. Just put some items on both of the belts so we can see that it works fine. And we're going to need actually more items than that. There we go. So you can see, yep, they came up on the right, and again we've got a few splitters we've got to saturate. This does mean that like a few of these splitters will have extra items just on the end, but that's fine. I mean, it's a bit of wasted resources, but it doesn't matter too much. And so there we go. And then of course if we set this instead to 1, and we put these iron plates back on the belt, probably need to put a few more just because it's not going to saturate the left side. There we go, now they're all coming through only on the left side. And so I think what we're going to run with instead is we'll have a red and a green line. So the red line will have, say, the left side, and the green line will have the right side. That way we control both sides being either both on, one on, or both off. That's how they work. Which does mean that our next line needs to at least be far enough for this whole setup. So if we just copy the design from the top, so this goes down 3. Actually, we can just, now that blueprints are from the very start, we can just basically copy this like that. There we go. I'll just fill in all the pieces of this blueprint. More of those. And this is why we made our splitter and our underground belt production, because as you can see, this is going to use a lot of these items. So we'll again just bring it out to about that far across, and in the other direction up to about there. Do we have grenades yet? I'm trying to remember if we get them. No. Let's see. We need military science and steel, and military too. So we'll go with steel for the moment. Okay, just checking the time. Just got a bit of time. So for the first few designs, we're going to go with systems that are likely to change. This is not likely to be the final system. There'll be a good building block for us to get started from. So now what we're going to have is we're going to have our crafting combinator, and we'll want a constant combinator and another circuit wire. And we're going to test out, well, I mean I've already tested it out, but I'm going to show how these crafting combinators work. So the most important thing is that they need to be facing the assembling machine that they control. So as long as that's set up, then what you do is you give them a signal, and we'll set them to set the recipe. These settings choose for excess items when we're switching. We're going to go with a hard mode, and we're going to discard any excess items that are in this crafting machine when we're switching the crafting recipe, which means we're going to have to control to make sure that there's no extra items in the crafting machine. Otherwise we've got an issue. Or we just take the penalty, which would be a bit annoying. As for excess modules, I was contemplating doing the same thing, but the issue is that there's no way to get modules out of these crafting combinators. So either we'll need to have banks that are set to allow recipes that can have productivity modules, because they can't be placed in every recipe, or we might just change this to a regular chest and just have a different setup where an inserter will take those out. Yeah, so that actually seems all fine. I'll just save that. And so now, if we give this a recipe, let's say, just make sure alt mode is on. Yeah, it is. Okay, let's say we want to make iron gear wheels, which makes sense. So we set that to iron gear wheels, and that'll set this assembling machine to iron gear wheels. And so, say then we decide, okay, well now we want to make electronic circuits. Now it'll be set to make electronic circuits. So for the moment we're just going to have these as static, but they're all going to be controlled by circuit networks. And when we do build our dynamic factory circuit brain, we'll just switch it out so that instead of having these static constant combinators setting it, we'll be using that. Just checking. Yeah, I think that's about half an hour then. Thinking about the fact that I had to go away for a bit to figure out, well, to remember this setup. So that's essentially how our bus layout's going to be set up. Do want to connect power to this, but not just yet. So we'll do that next episode. So that's our bus layout. So we're going to have many lines of these. Our assemblers are only going to be on the top half because, again, if we need to add another lane and we have assemblers on the bottom, they're going to have to be moved because great timing, because we cannot guarantee that production will always be done on a bank to the right of where it's being used. And so that's the end of this episode. This is JackB1024 signing off, and until next time, goodbye.